All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here to this free masterclass, the Fast Track to Cooking from Scratch. I am your host, Katie. I'm very excited to be here. This is, I think, my second masterclass ever, so I'm very excited. I'm new, so bear with me. I'm sure there might be some technical difficulties, but hopefully not. I've practiced. Hopefully everything will be good. But we are going to be talking about some exciting stuff today and hopefully giving you some tips that you can use right away to go ahead and start kind of transforming your kitchen and your health and bringing your family better meals and better food and better experiences all around come the new year and even the holidays. So, that being said, this masterclass is recorded. So, if you have to leave at any point, you can come back to the recording and pick up where you left off. You can watch it again and again and again, take notes, all that kind of stuff. So, it should be available to you. But with that said, I think, fingers crossed, we have all of our logistics out of the way. I'm going to share my screen and we'll go ahead and get started with our presentation. And of course, I have the wrong tab open. Let's see if I can stop that because I can't see the bar whenever I have to do this. See, I told you there'd be technical difficulties. Okay, let's try again. We're going to share. Beautiful. Okay, we are coming in business. Old computers, a little bit slow. Also, feel free to have something nice and tasty to drink. I'm drinking water today, but coffee, tea, sit back and relax. All right, so this, as I said before, is the fast track to cooking from scratch, how to transform your health without spending all day in the kitchen. Oh, can I not? There we go. Okay, make sure that you stay till the end today because we do have some exciting bonuses. There's obviously, we're going to be talking about a course at the end of this, but in addition to the course, there are all these awesome bonuses. We're going to have calendars to keep you on track, shopping lists, a whole recipe journal where you can keep track of stuff, a community membership, which is exclusive only to members here, and then one surprise bonus, which is a little gift on behalf of myself. So, welcome. I don't know if this is in everyone's way, but my little face is in my own way here. So let me see if I can. There we go. I'll get that out of the way. All right, so this is me. I'm Katie. I am a stay-at-home mom. I'm an urban homesteader. We live on a quarter of an acre in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I am a from scratch cook. I love cooking from scratch, but it wasn't always that way, which we'll talk about more as we get going. Oh, let's let Debbie in. I think Debbie's in. Let's see. Hope everyone's in there. Good. Hello. Okay, so this is not going to be your average masterclass. So we're actually going to have real tips. We're actually going to have stuff that you can walk away with today. I hate those things where you leave and you're like, that was nothing. Now I'm just wasted an hour of my life. I really hope that is not the case. I don't want to be that way. So what we're going to cover today is how to build your home grocery store. So part of cooking from scratch is having everything you need because if you have to go to the store every single time that you are making a meal, that becomes really inconvenient, which is what leads us to buying boxed foods, ordering out, microwave pizzas, all that kind of stuff. So making sure that your home is well stocked is the number one priority. We're also going to cover detoxing and equipping your space. So you might not really think of that as part of it, but when you start down this cooking from scratch journey, you inevitably end up kind of in that clean eating realm where you want to eat whole foods, you want to eat actual real food. And so making sure that you're not getting any of those chemicals in your cleaners or even in your cooking utensils and your cookware, that's also important too. So we'll talk about how to clean, kind of natural cleaners, as well as what kind of equipment do you need for a from scratch kitchen. And then, last but not least, and probably why you're all here, is we are going to talk about sourcing ingredients and establishing rhythms. So this little picture is a picture of one of the parts of our course, and it's about weekly rhythms. So establishing things that allow you to make all the breads, make all the snacks, have meat thawed ready to go without having to think about it. So it kind of becomes automatic. So, like I said just a minute ago, make sure you guys have something nice to drink or even a snack if you want. Some notes, take notes if you want. You're not going to miss this. This is kind of an hour that you have set aside, and I'm very grateful for you to be here. So, I want you to get the most out of it. And you owe it to yourself to be present today. So, a couple things before we get started. Just want to kind of get you in the mindset. So, you are in the right place if you want to eat healthy food, but you don't want to spend all day in the kitchen. If you're like me, you have young kids and you have much better things to do. You're in the right place if you've tried not buying junk food, you've tried making bread or even buying in bulk, but you haven't gotten anywhere close to cooking all your food from scratch. So that means you're still eating out a couple times a week. You're still relying on boxed foods or boxed noodles or cereal or all that kind of stuff. Maybe you don't even have kids or you're not married yet, but you just want to learn how to cook from scratch efficiently, even if you're not 100% sure of your future yet. And last but not least, you're in the right place if you're ready to ditch the mainstream food system, but you don't know where to go, you don't have time, or you don't want to miss out on all the tasty stuff because all the ultra processed food is really tasty. I'm not going to lie. That's why there's so many homemade Pop-Tart recipes out there because Pop-Tarts are awesome. Now, you're not in the right place if you're not ready to put in the work. So there is obviously going to be a learning curve here if you're not ready to learn. And if you're not ready to make a life-changing transformation, because I can tell you from experience that once you start down this road, there's really no turning back. It's a rabbit hole, a fun one, but it's a rabbit hole, and it's something that really truly is a lifestyle change. But that being said, I'm so glad you're here. I am honored to be here with you, to be kind of your friend, holding your hand in this path. If this is your first step down here, and so I'm really excited to share with you what I've learned over the past several years of starting my own journey. So I told you a little bit about myself, but a little bit more. This is a recent picture. We just got family pictures, and I am pregnant with number 3. So I am a mom of 2, almost 3. My husband and I homestead in the Midwest suburbs in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We live on a quarter of an acre, like literally in an HOA, but we also raise our own meat rabbits. We keep bees for honey. We have a really large garden. So I can a lot of our food, cook a lot of our own meat, all that kind of stuff. I cook about 95% of our food from scratch as of now. We're always working to better that. And I do it all while homeschooling, keeping a relatively tidy home, and running my own business. But it was not always this way. It has been quite the journey to get here. So life used to look a lot different. This is a picture of me when my husband and I got engaged. We lived in Athens, Georgia at the time, and so we climbed to top of Mount Yonah, which is, if you've ever been to Georgia, it's in Helen, Georgia, which is in North Georgia, and it's a beautiful mountain, and it was very fun. However, I was a lot less in shape. We were a lot less mindful of what we were eating. I was, in grad school, so I was eating frozen microwave meals. We were relying on artificial sweeteners, trying to eat healthy, but still, drinking the Diet Coke and all that kind of stuff. And we ate out on the regular because I am a foodie. I love eating out. I love going to different restaurants and, getting those experiences. But no matter how much I tried meal planning or shopping for specific meals, I was stressed when it came time to cook. And I really didn't think I could get ahead. It didn't feel like I could get ahead. And I didn't even have kids yet. So now I have almost 3 kids, and it's the complete opposite, which is very nice, I must say. So everything changed when I got pregnant with our first daughter. We're actually going to have a third daughter, so we'll have 3 girls. But when I got pregnant with my first daughter, that's little Charlie there. And that little blue sweater and bonnet was something that my grandma, my late grandma, made for my uncle when he was born. So it's quite the heirloom, and every one of our girls has worn it home from the hospital, so it's really special. But I knew it had to be different. I didn't want to be putting ultra processed foods in my body because then I was putting them in her body and I didn't want her to get that kind of a start in the world. And so I made a promise to myself and my daughter that I would find a better way to nourish our bodies, and a promise to my husband that I would find a lower stress way of having meals ready. Because I felt like, especially in those first newborn months, like he would come home and I would either have the house clean or I would have dinner ready. And I could never do both. And sometimes I still don't do both, but we've established that, dinner is more important. And that's something that he likes to have ready whenever he comes home. And so we can always clean later, but finding ways to do that while balancing and keeping my girls happy is also a rhythm that we've established and a priority of ours. So I decided it was time to stop acting like this is impossible. There's lots of people who can do this. They have a lot more kids than me. What's the catch here? And so I started taking steps to find a better way. And so I did, and life has never been the same. This is how it went. So I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures here. So this is an amalgamation, a very small snapshot of our entire journey over the past several years. I'll use my little cursor here to show you a few things, but this was one of my first loaves of bread. Not so pretty as the one down here, right? They both look kind of like that hollow loaf, but one is a lot crumblier and less developed. The gluten's a lot less developed there than this one. So we've had a learning curve there, which is great. Over here, we have a bunch of vegetables that we grew in our garden, which that was a big harvest at the time, but now we get like buckets of tomatoes. And I mean, I think I have like 10 or 12 pints of beans that I grew and I canned. And then we ate a ton more fresh as well. There's some of our honey that we've grown. Homemade potato chips I made. There's us keeping our bees, homemade granola. There's one of our bunnies. That's actually Buddy. He's our boy, and he's my favorite. He's such a sweetheart. Learned how to make homemade crackers, keeping our sourdough starter. And of course, a roast chicken recipe, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, because that has been quite the life changer as well. So what I did was I learned how to bake bread first and snacks. It's easy. I had actually previously, when we were on our health journey, we thought that bread was bad, because in the store it is. It's like a super long list of ingredients, all this kind of stuff. But when you make your own bread, especially sourdough, it's flour, water, sourdough starter, and salt. So it's not a long list of ingredients. And when you ferment things long term, it's actually beneficial for your gut, which my husband actually a couple years ago had some gut issues, and sourdough was the only thing he could eat. So I'm really glad that I learned how to make that. I also started sourcing foods locally when possible. Luckily, here in Fort Wayne, we have not one, but two really great farmers markets. Living in Indiana, we do have a lot of farmers, so we're very lucky about that. And then I learned how to stock my kitchen like a grocery store, which means a couple different things, which we'll talk about here. So this is what happened. After I started doing those things, I stopped buying bread. I started feeling less lethargic after meals, especially when I was switching my sweeteners. So having honey, we've switched over to only honey, raw honey, and then maple syrup as well. And instead of kind of getting that food coma, I actually feel satiated. I don't overeat as much. And we can really tell the difference of that whenever we go visit family or if we do go out to eat. It is like, why are we doing this? This does not feel good because it's not what our bodies are used to. And then I was able to whip things up on a whim. So we have enough we have plenty of ingredients around, so I can bake with my girls whenever I feel like it. I can make a meal for friends if someone had a baby, and I'm not super big on freezer meals, so I'm able to make those things quickly and make them fresh. Okay, so then once I started doing those, I kind of took it a step further and I learned sourdough and I started milling my own grain. So I actually have my own grain mill now. I started growing some of our own meat with those bunnies as well as vegetables. And I established weekly rhythms for prepping these staples that we love. So for us, that includes homemade granola, which is literally the easiest recipe ever. I don't have it written here, but I'm going to tell you right now so you can write it down. 3 cups of oats, a half a cup of raw honey, a quarter cup of coconut oil or butter, whatever fat you choose. We have a dairy allergy. My daughter's allergic, so we do that. So 3 cups of oats, a quarter cup of coconut oil, half a cup of honey, and then however much cinnamon you want. And then about a half a teaspoon of salt. And you can throw in some nuts if you want. She's also allergic to nuts, so we don't do that. But you literally bake it at 350 for 20 minutes. Let it sit until it's completely cool and it crumbles up, and you have enough granola for the week. We use that as our cereal, okay? And we could use other, like we've made homemade cinnamon toast crunch and all that kind of stuff, but the granola is so easy. It literally takes 5 minutes, and so we've never bought that ever again. But that's one of the things we had rhythms for. We also bake crackers. We've just started doing some sourdough soft pretzel bites, which are addictive, and then our normal breads and things like that. So now instead of stressing about stuff and relying on microwave meals, I get 3 from scratch meals on the table every single day. I still get a ton of time with my kids. We get to go play, we get to go to the library, we have play dates, we do all kinds of stuff. And I don't have to worry about falling victim to highly processed convenience foods. I don't think we have a single one of those in our house right now, actually. So you might be thinking, that's cool for you, but can I really do this? And the answer is yes. But let's talk about my results. So first, the things started slowly the first year or two, but then they snowballed. So once I started getting those skills gathered up, I have been able to almost completely eliminate toxic cleaners from our kitchen. We make our own like counter spray, we make our own dishwasher soap, we make our own laundry soap too, hand soap, all that kind of stuff. I cook 95% of our meals from scratch without even batting an eye. And 90% of the time, I don't even know what I'm making till an hour or two before dinner. And that is 100% the truth. I am not exaggerating, because a lot of times my mind changes, especially being pregnant. I'm like, I don't want that after all, so let's make something else. So this is proof that things can grow quickly when you have the right strategy. Now, I have to pull up my notes here because I wrote a little scenario for you guys to think about. So just imagine, where could you be in 30 days, okay? In 30 days, you could have kind of revamped your kitchen, gotten rid of your ultra-processed foods from the kitchen, your fridge, freezer, and pantry, and started sourcing ingredients locally and seasonally. In 60 days, you could have added, maybe starting learning the basics of sourdough and baking your own bread. And then in 90 days, you could be making cooking from scratch your new way of life. You could be including your littles, getting creative in the kitchen, and experiencing all the health benefits of using whole ingredients you made, grew, or sourced yourself. So in like literally 3 months, and honestly, 1 month you could do this, but in 3 months, it would be not overwhelming at all. So your dream for a from scratch kitchen is possible, and promise you, you can be a from scratch cook and get away from processed foods. It's totally doable, and that's why we're here. That's why we're excited to talk about it. As you can probably tell, I'm very passionate about this. I love helping people kind of find that freedom and those rhythms and recipes that work for you. So I've been helping people do this for a while. And as a matter of fact, I actually have that roast chicken recipe. Over 12,000 people have started cooking their own whole roast chickens at home. As of today, it's probably over 13,000. Instead of buying those super sodium filled rotisserie chickens at the store, and hundreds of people have ditched refined sugars and started cooking with raw honey and real maple syrup instead. Because I also have the Using Honey on the Homestead cookbook, which is over 50 recipes, all using natural sweeteners, mainly raw honey, but you can also sub in maple syrup for that as well. So tons of people changing lives, and it's exciting to be a part of it. So not only is this possible for you, but it's totally realistic when you have a proven roadmap to get there. So finally, let's just dive in so you can do it too, okay? So now that you've decided you want to master the art of cooking from scratch, we have secret strategy number 1, which is turning your kitchen into a grocery store. You might be wondering how to even start, okay? But this is where you need to start taking notes, because I promise you can. We just need to figure out what's missing. So the easiest way to do this is by taking stock. So in our course, what we do is we take what you're going to do right now, and we do it even in more detail in the course, but we take inventory of everything, okay? What's in your fridge, what's in your freezer, what's in your pantry. Then we prioritize. Okay, what do we like? What do we not like? What do we want to get rid of? And then we strategize how to make those changes, because sometimes it's just so ingrained in us that making some of those changes seems like a really, really, really big deal. So timing it out using a calendar to kind of say like, okay, this week we're going to eliminate this, or this week we will start subbing in this instead. can help ease the blow because you're not the only one who's making those changes. Your family is as well. So now that you have that, remember, this is why it's important. Okay, after you do all those things, you're going to get a stocked kitchen so you can start your from scratch journey with ease. You're going to have all the ingredients you need and they're going to be the right ones. And this is, like I said, what we help you do in the course. So this little picture over here is just a glimpse. It's one of the things. We have an entire grocery list, detailed grocery list. For this is example for a family of 4, but then you can multiply that or pull it back depending on the size of your family. And it covers everything from your meats, your starches, your household items, your condiments, your produce, your dairy and eggs, and your fats. And then there's a blank one as well that you can use as a template for whenever you go shopping so that you know this is what I need. Without this, okay, if we don't have that stocked grocery store, it's going to be so easy to fall back on those old conveniences. You're gonna get overwhelmed with trying to wing it because you're gonna be like, I need this. Wait, I don't have this, and you're ultimately going to lose momentum. Which brings us to secret strategy number 2, which is detoxing and equipping your space in record time. So you might be wondering when you're getting started with this cooking from scratch, do I need to buy a lot of new stuff? Like, do I need to overhaul the whole kitchen? The answer is no, but you do need to make sure you have essentials covered, okay? So we're gonna go over how to do this. First thing you're going to do to detox and equip is to pare down your cleaning and your cooking essentials. So we don't need all the crazy, rinse aids and all this kind of stuff. Literally vinegar, maybe a lemon essential oil, and some Castile soap. That's what we use, white vinegar and water, okay? And then your cooking essentials is going to be a couple frying pans and a couple pots. You don't need a million of them because the one thing whenever you're cooking from scratch is the more dishes you use, the more dishes you have to clean. So that can be part of the overwhelm as well. So making sure that we have that under control. We use 2 to 3, I'm looking at my stove right now, 2 to 3 cast iron skillets and 2 pots and 1 kettle. And that is it. I have more pots down below that I use if I need, like I have a big stock pot if I need to. But our everyday thing is literally like 1 or 2 cast iron skillets and 1 pot that we use to mainly warm up coffee because we don't have a microwave. And then another pot where right now I have a simmer pot going because we don't do candles all the time. So that's something. You really need a lot less equipment than you think. And then you're also going to want to make substitutes for some of those non-toxic options. So instead of plastic cutting boards, wooden cutting boards. And like I said, keep it basic. So now that you have that, remember this. All right, once you have all these essentials, you're going to be able to cook any recipe you need with just a few flexible pieces. You'll know how to source pieces economically and even take care of them with your own homemade cleaning solutions. So in the course, we go over all the stuff that you need. I even talk about like you might want an immersion blender or you might want an ice cream maker, maybe if you really like ice cream. We do, so we do have one. But then like especially cast iron, they can get kind of pricey. So where are some places that you might find deals on those, how to maintain them, literally I walk you through the entire step of if you need a cast iron skillet, here are 3 places you can go and find one. And then once you find one, here's how you can season it. Here's how you can take care of it. Same thing with glass dishes, all that kind of stuff. Now, without the right equipment, things are going to take longer. I don't have it there, but you're going to need to clean more. You won't be able to prep for the week as easily, and you'll end up spending money on unnecessary items because it's one of those things where if you think like, oh, this gadget will solve it, and then you just keep getting gadgets, and it becomes a terrible, endless tunnel, basically. So last secret strategy, sourcing the right things the right way and establishing rhythms. So if you've made it this far, you're probably like, okay, great. But I'm here to learn how to transform my health and avoid processed foods. How do I do that? Let's get to this part already. I've got you. Okay, so most people think this part is super hard, but this is actually the easiest part. Because the truth is, I've stocked my kitchen from things I've sourced locally, grown myself, or shopped smart to find. So going through here really fast, this is up on the top left, mashed butternut squash, grew that myself. Garlic fermented honey, grew the garlic, raised the bees that made the honey. Honey butter, made that myself. Grilled rabbit, honey thyme rabbit, raised that myself. Raw honey, made that myself. Bone broth from my rabbits, blackberries in our backyard. And these beautiful apples are from a local orchard where we get them every year for applesauce and fresh eating. So I say this only to paint a picture of how possible this is, okay? So you can experience delicious food that's high quality and healthy for you. You can. You can experience a huge variety of foods when you source intentionally. You're not going to be stuck eating the same thing every night. You can experience easy meals whenever you're properly prepared, and you can experience life-changing transformation by cooking from scratch. Without spending all day in the kitchen, without meal planning. I don't know why. I'm like not a meal planner. I can't do it. And without learning a whole bunch of new recipes because it's really just about manipulating what you have. So this is super important, okay? Because having this mindset and having all these tools is going to help you avoid the negative side effects of ultra processed foods, help you gain the benefits of nourishing food and learning new skills. And it's huge because it can change your whole lifestyle. And then you can pass down this generational knowledge to your children, your grandchildren, and friends, whoever else. So I just want you to think about this for a second. What would you do, or what would this do for your life to have this, okay? Close your eyes and imagine being able to put nourishing meals on the table every day while also spending more time with your kids and even getting to relax during quiet time. If you have some younger kids like I do, having that 90 to 120 minutes of peace and quiet where I can do what I want to do is gold. So being able to do that and not be stuck in the kitchen is priceless. Because now I feel like my kitchen is a canvas. I go in and I'm like, all right, what are we going to do today? I feel good, right? I have slow mornings with my girls while we listen to jazz. We like jazz, but whatever music you like, and we cook together. I get to watch my family light up when I pull a fresh loaf of bread out of the oven. This morning I made chocolate sourdough. My husband came home from hunting and he was like, oh my gosh, you made chocolate bread? That's so exciting, right? And so I get to be the mom and the wife that I've always wanted to be, which is showing my love through food and filling people's bellies. So how amazing would that be if you could do that, right? Let that sink in for a moment. Imagine how it would feel to have confidence over your kitchen, how it would change everything, how incredible cooking 95% of your meals from scratch would be without stressing about it, I didn't even realize that's how much I cooked until I thought about it. So we come to the point where I'm going to ask you a question, okay? I want you to think about why you came here today, why you stayed the whole time, right? Your time is precious. It's Saturday afternoon. If you're in the Midwest, it's relatively nice out today, okay? So why are you here? I know why, and you know why, okay? You want a healthier life without processed foods. You want to cook from scratch without spending all day in the kitchen. And you want to have more time to spend with your kids and your family without sacrificing their nourishment. So at this point, you've got two options, okay? Option one, you can continue to put it off. You can wait until you're ready, until you've got more time, until you know more recipes or whatever else has held you back, and you can continue to put off your family's health for a year or more. Or option two, you can remember that feeling ready is a lie. You're never going to feel ready, right? The best time to start is right now, because now you've got a mentor, me. And I'm going to walk you through the whole process of taking stock, detoxing and equipping your kitchen, sourcing the right things and establishing those rhythms step by step and super in depth so you don't have to do it alone. All right, I'm here to help you every step of the way so that you can make your dreams a reality. But a quick reminder, I'm not special. Okay, I didn't go to culinary school. I'm an actress and a singer by trade. Okay, I simply decided that I was ready for more. I wanted something more fulfilling out of my, spot as a homemaker. Right? I could figure this out. I had something to offer, and I wasn't willing to put off my dreams until my kids were bigger. So this picture is actually from one of my first herb harvests, and I had like our huge metal bowl. It was full of herbs. I was like, oh my gosh, we grew this. It's so cool. So I'm not special. But all of those things changed everything. And more than anything, I had to make good on that promise, right? To her, little baby Charlie, and to her, that's me and our new baby Cece, and Evie's in the middle. And so I did. And now I'm here with her, which is why I'm so excited to introduce you to the Fast Track to Cooking from Scratch, the course, okay? Where you can transform your health and regain time with your kids by learning how to cook from scratch in as little as 28 days. I'm going to walk you through every single step, step by step, so you know exactly what to do each step of the way. And I'm going to give you a little peek inside, okay? So first we're going to talk about lesson one. This is where we take stock and prepare your space. We literally go through each area together, fridge, pantry, freezer. We write everything down, we prioritize and strategize just like I mentioned, but we do it in detail together. And after that, you walk away feeling lighter, more clear-minded, and motivated to get going. Lesson two is where we clean up and clean out. So we detox the kitchen. You'll walk away with the tools to make your own natural cleaning products with as little as 3 ingredients. Okay, I give you the exact recipes we use in our kitchen. And also, as I said, like actual strategies and plans of how to source pans, pots, appliances, all that kind of stuff. The best way, the most economical way, so you get the highest quality and the best bang for your buck. Then lesson three is where we break down the essentials for good cooking. Okay, so you're going to walk away feeling reassured that fancy appliances are not necessary to make great food. You will learn how to season a cast iron skillet so you can fry an egg, and it's like all you have to do is wipe it out with a paper towel. It's the easiest thing. Cleanup is great. Lesson four is where we learn what you need in your kitchen grocery store. So you're going to walk away feeling informed and capable of sourcing and creating high quality, nourishing food for your family. This is where we talk about shopping lists, talking about different types of meat, different qualities of meat. If you are on a certain budget, what you can do to kind of mitigate that. So if you can't afford pasture-raised chicken, what's something better, right? Grain-fed beef, red meat is still better than no beef at all. And so we talk about that. We talk about produce. We talk about bulk buying some of those other items like flour and rice and oats, and where you can get that at a good price. And then last but not least, lesson five is where we find the rhythms that work for you. So that's all about making it work. You're going to walk away feeling relaxed and confident that you've got a system in place for success. So we actually have templates for weekly rhythms and daily rhythms. I have sample ones to show you, then also blank ones. So you can talk about, you can put in exactly what you want. And then I do see something in the chat there, but I will check it out in just a second. And let's finish here. Lesson six, this is where we get to cook our recipes together. Okay, so you're going to walk away knowing how to make your own sourdough starter, bake some basic staples, and make some of my favorite meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I give you probably almost 20 recipes videoed with me, so you're cooking right alongside me doing exactly what I do. But I did promise you those bonuses. So when you pay today, you will unlock shopping lists and a recipe journal for recording family favorites, membership in that supportive community so you can share wins, struggles, favorite recipes, all that kind of stuff. And then my surprise gift is the Homesteaders Holiday Gift Guide. So it's a little gift guide that has a bunch of baking recipes, all made with refined sugar-free recipes. There's also some handmade gifts in there and some beauty products, all kind of stuff. So what's the investment? All right. The total value for all of this is over $250, okay? It's 6 in-depth lessons, plus those video recipes, plus all the bonuses. The shopping lists, calendar, and recipe journal would be about $20 normally. Community membership would normally be $10 a month. And the Homesteaders Holiday Gift Guide is normally running around $35. But when you pay today, you get access to all of it for only $47, okay? So this deal is not going to last long. It's only available for about 1 week from the time that you're watching this masterclass today. And so it's important to know that you can always enroll in the course, but you're only going to have that limited time to get those bonuses or savings because prices will go up. So I want you to remember that promise you made, that vision you cast for yourself. It really is possible. A future version of you already is doing it. You're already there, right? So now you just have to connect the dots on the proven map to get there, okay? So when you join today, remember this is all the things you get instant access to. I will say the course doesn't launch until January, so this is pre-order time, okay? But you will get, once that course goes live, you'll get the Homesteaders Holiday Gift Guide right now because it's the holidays. But the rest of those things, you'll get access into the community, you'll get access into the course, and then all of those resources will drip out as they're ready. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing. We'll go back to the chat here. Okay, Kim said, thank you for the info. I have to go, but we'll consider and catch the rest of the recording. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kim. For the rest of you, thank you so much for tuning in today. Hope you had a wonderful, wonderful time in this masterclass. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. And as always, have a wonderful day. Actually, I don't know if the link to the course can go in the chat. We're going to put it in the chat right now just so you have it. But I will also email that link to you so that, because I just don't know if the chat saves when you do the recording. I don't know. But there's a link to the course. If you can't see that and you're watching the recording, you can check your email. There will be an email following this with the recording and the link to pre-order the course. Like I said, it's coming out in January. Thank you again so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you inside.